Hello and welcome, dearest kindred of Charleston, West Virginia. We're back at it again with this episode 7 of Blood of the Covenant, titled Heresy. So without any further ado, let's get over to our heretical vampires, starting with Syrinx.
Hiya, I'm Syrinx, she, her, and tonight I have the pleasure of playing Father Alaric Winthrop. Not like last week, he does have a wife, in fact. I will state that right now. He does have a wife, yes. A man-wife. On to the next person.
And we love a good man-wife. Let's throw it on over to the wonderful Druid by Night.
Hi, I'm Luna, or Druid by Night. You can find me at Druid by Night on all the social medias, including on Twitch where I stream. And this time zone, I will be playing one Calliope Rose of Clan Tremere, who has no wife or man-wife to speak of.
Bro, that's rough, buddy. Let's throw it over to my wonderful partner, Az.
Hello, everybody. I'm Az, or as I was on the social media, because I think I'm funny. I'm the previous intern at the Rolling Nomads, and today I will be playing Omen of Clan Gangrel. Once again, Lark's bitch.
Of course. Ramos and Omen.
Hello everyone. Hello everyone. My name is Cooper Ramos, aka Ramos Nomad everyone on social media. Pronouns are he, him. Today I will be playing Velasquez of Osorio Lozano, who has no wife, but I mean, the land could be his wife.
You ever fuck the land, Lark? Honey.
I love Saltburn.
Hi, I'm Huddy, or Huddy Flunchland, World of Darkness Community Ambassador, but tonight I'm playing Lark of Clan Ministry.
We love it. And though we won't be getting to them for a little minute here, Vin.
Oh my gosh, hi! I'm Vin at VinVoxVA on the socials, except Blue Sky, that is VinVox.com. I'm a voice actor and AP performer. Tonight I'll be playing, you'll hear that in a minute.
Yeah, wow. And as always, I'm Avery at Avery DuBois on all the social media platforms. I style myself as something of an internet personality. I am the partnerships manager here on the Rolling Nomads. So if you're ever interested in, the things that we do, or maybe working with us, whether you're from the production standpoint of an RPG or from the play standpoint of APs, I'm the person you'll talk to. And I'll be the storyteller tonight. So I'll be playing everyone who didn't just introduce themselves. So with that being said, let's get right into it, family. From the assembled Coterie, you're coming off a tough night last night. So this is the rare time I'm going to ask for 2 rouse checks.
We're really gonna shake things, huh?
I am at 4 hunger.
Or
I'm at 1
3
hunger.
hunger.
1, 4, 3.
I'm at 1 hunger, but I would like also to heal my aggravated, if that's possible.
Sure.
I got 3.
3. So you're at 3 hunger?
Mm-hmm.
So now everyone wakes up, beasts in disparate states of unrest. As you all wake up inside of these rather thick cardboard boxes, you're surrounded with packing peanuts, bubble wrap. You hear the soft, muted sounds of maybe music on the radio.
Omen's gonna just push at the box until it pops open.
It doesn't take a lot of force. It's just one thin layer of packing tape.
And then look at the other boxes, start making sure everybody's getting out. Looking for Lark.
I I'd like to start healing my superficial damage
Sure. Go
as
for
I
it.
get out of the box. So that's 4.
I think there's a little bit of hesitation to open up the box because of how they left off last night. The fact that he knows that when he gets out, they're gonna have to face whatever happened and whatever is gonna be the rest of the future of Boa. So there's a little bit of hesitation, but everyone knows he's in this box, so he's also not. Yeah, he's gonna get out eventually, but there is a slight hesitation.
Lark?
Lark's in emotional distress and also starving. So I imagine as soon as Omen starts approaching the box, she's not strong, but she's gonna start pushing against the box if she can't open it by herself. Try and get it open.
Like I said, it's just one thin layer of packing tape, so it's
And
not.
it's just probably a startling force of motion to get the box top off.
Yeah. Calliope, what was the result of your healing?
I'm all healed up. I'm at 200 now.
So less disparate in your states of hunger than you were moments ago.
Yeah.
But this basement that you're in is lit. You see there are lockers down here. There's a large steel door. And you see that on a side table, there are 6 mason jars. And there is a little card on the plate beneath them that says, "Good morning, sleepyheads." And it has a little engraved bat on the bottom.
You doing all right there, sweetheart?
No, I can't remember the last time I was doing all right. How are you doing, Omen?
Check back in a day.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, it's a mess.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
Where did Lark put Boa?
Nobody put Boa anywhere. In fact, you don't see Boa among you at all. There was no extra box. Whatever happened to his body, it appears, is safely within the hands of Janky Peterson.
All right. Who's hungry? I'm good.
I could eat, but I'm fine.
None for me.
Why do we all seem so sour?
Calliope, if you could for me really quick, could you roll me a wits and insight and do add your bonus for weaknesses?
Okay.
Everyone seems to have woken up on the wrong side of the cardboard this morning.
I think maybe it has to do with the fact that we did in fact wake up in cardboard a while ago.
But we still yet exist.
That we do. No, after everything from last night, I'm pissed. But that ain't gonna do anyone any good right now. So,
I got 1.
1.
1 success.
Okay. There's something about the nature of Alaric not feeding right now that pings for you, but you can't place it. You can't. It's just odd enough to catch your sort of mental eye, but nothing more.
alright. Oh, okay. Alright. Okay. Alright, yeah, no, we're still dead.
And you will hear a knock on a thin wooden door at the top of the staircase.
I'll go
I
get that.
suppose I'll get it.
Oh, okay, by all means, if you want to go introduce yourselves to our lovely hosts. I've heard
That would be
nothing
the
but
right thing to do.
things about them.
Make my way to answer the door.
Walking up the staircase to the door, opening it, Velasco, you see a man probably in his early 70s, maybe late 60s if life has been pretty hard on him. Yeah, he has kind of clouding hazel eyes, very weathered face, a Union polo shirt on that has Local 2001 emblazoned on the breast, and underneath it says Dennis. Says, everybody all right down there? We just started hearing some voices, so I just want to make sure everybody's all right.
Quite all right down this way. How are you this evening?
Well, I'm doing all right. Hey, Dennis Martin. It's really nice to meet you. We've heard a lot about
you, sir.
We've heard a lot about you, Kindred, over across the river in Coterie City, and actually, just the other night we heard your Baron has laid claim to Riverview here. So we just want
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quite extensive, don't you think?
Riverview? No, I mean not really. I mean we got a few churches and we're right against the state capitol complex. But other than that, I mean there's not really much going on here. Riverview's a quiet place. I'm sure Father Winthrop down there. Hi, Father. You doing all right? You know Dennis actually pretty decently. When things with the Camarilla began to fall apart, and the Bruja were massacred. Dennis arrived on the scene shortly after that to fill the power void that was once held by Balthazar Young, who was in control of the communication workers.
Okay. Hi, Dennis. Good evening to you. I'm doing fine. Thank you for getting us to safety.
Oh, that wasn't us. Don called over, said you guys needed a place for the day, that the boat wasn't going to be safe on the water. So, it was just the most we could do to honor our friendship with the Thin Bloods at the garage. So,
And still thank you nonetheless. And for the welcome we got. He motions down to where the table and stuff with the blood is as well.
Yeah. It looks like y'all aren't feeling very peckish this evening. That's all right. Well, when y'all are ready.
Oh, Dawn's still here, or did he leave with Janky?
Dawn said he had to go get Jerry from Tamara's place, and that they had to settle up a debt with Janky. So,
all right, thank you.
Yeah. Well, just I don't want to rush y'all, but if y'all want to come up, meet everybody, I've got everybody up here. They'd love to meet you guys, and because we heard that you guys are pretty much the only coterie over across the river in Coterie City, and we just all want to get to know you guys, and we're hoping that you can convince your Baron, because I don't think he knows that we exist, if I'm being perfectly honest, because he hasn't come to visit us or nothing. So we just want to, whenever you're ready, just come up, and we'd love to make a good first impression and maybe talk about maybe you guys endorsing us to your Baron so he doesn't try and come over here and have us all murdered.
Absolutely. We'll sit down very shortly.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Let us just make sure we get this a little bit cleaned up for you, and then we'll be right up, Dennis. Thank you so much.
Yep, no worries. If anybody needs fresh change clothes, lockers are open.
Who's in these jars?
Oh, we keep blood around. I mean, we got to,
I don't drink from anything that I don't know.
Well, Miss Stone, is it?
Miss Stone will do just fine.
Seeing as your sire is the Baron of Kano City, I would be disinclined to acquiesce to the nature of your request. I don't wish to incriminate myself in how I gathered this detail.
That's fine. That you're using a lot of words, and I don't need to hear 'em.
Fair enough. All right. I'll see y'all up here in a minute.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Dennis.
yeah. We'll see you in a minute.
And he shuts the door.
I like him.
You would.
Very
He's honest.
polite.
And polite.
Very decent.
Why hasn't Elliot come to visit them? That's weird.
I don't
I would-
imagine he seems it worth his time.
I was about to say, would be weird if it was anyone else.
I guess. Like, he showed up immediately when I came in.
Because you're useful.
It's Orphan Bloods.
I ain't the smartest girl in Conwell City, but they really are thin bloods. Then Elliot would have been all over this place.
That's what's, especially with what he was talking with you about. With wanting more cooks.
I guess the question is, do they know how to cook?
Maybe are some of them impotent or something?
But say isn't that all they do? I mean, they're thin blood nonsense.
Not all of them. Some of them are just half dead.
Well, if it is a group of thin bloods who can't get it up, Elliot wouldn't have any use for them.
But like, it's like 1 out of 3 of them can. And Don said there's a bunch of them here.
I imagine
That's
he
anything.
knows they're here.
Maybe I'm just being paranoid given everything that happened last night. What do I know? Anyway,
Can't
all
be.
right.
Can't be too paranoid when it comes to Elliot.
Yeah, I figured that out.
The Baron only recently claimed this territory. Perhaps he just never ventured here to be safe.
In Alaric's, to lend weight to what Alaric is saying, it is true. It was only 3 nights ago that Elliot laid claim to Riverview.
True. Speculation will get us nowhere, though.
Let's go meet the newbies.
Can Lark take Omen aside and, like, get a drink? I don't want to drink out of the jar.
Like, as Lark's like sitting there, like looking at the jars, looking at Omen. We'll meet you up there.
Is anyone drinking out of what has been provided? I need to know.
I would like to.
Sure. I will make a note. Please continue.
Don't like that.
Anyone else?
I feel like Calliope was going to just to like be the one to be like, it's fine, guys. And then Velasquez did it. She's like, no, you go for it.
Actually, Calliope, if you wouldn't mind, make me a wits and occult.
A very important question, storyteller.
Mm-hmm.
Where's my mongoose?
Digging in the packing peanuts of the box at the moment.
Excellent.
Oopsie. 6 on a messy critical.
6 on a messy critical. Well, your hunger is going to increase by 1. Start.
Awesome.
You see blood magic, or at least the remnants of blood magic in this drink. Like, maybe that's what draws you to it. Maybe that's what spikes your hunger. That hunger for knowledge manifesting into a physical thing.
Oh.
And
Goodness.
whatever ritual has ensorcelled this, you can feel a residual aura of magic in this whole place.
I imagine I can't place anything specific.
No, it's ambient. It's just something big magically happened here. Something huge. What it was, when it happened, hard to place it. But there is certainly some sort of ensorcelling that has happened to this blood that has been offered to you.
Well, you said knowledge hungry, so Calliope, upon seeing Velasco drink and noticing that, will also imbibe.
Can't be shown up by that dragon.
Exactly.
Do you have a taste of blood?
I do.
Let's start with the most basic information. This blood certainly has a connotation that tastes of Clan Bruja, which should be odd because they were summarily massacred in the city around the year 2013.
Mm-hmm.
It's not thick enough to be kindred blood. It's diluted. It's maybe a cocktail, because you taste some of that weird thinness that comes from the blood of the Duskborn. This is some sort of blood cocktail that has been ensorcelled. But I think the thing that sticks out most to you, even knowing that there is some Bruja blood mixed into this, is you cannot determine the kindred sire of whoever this is, which you should be able to with Taste of Blood.
I think she finishes, she'll just look at it. Shit's weird.
However, for both of you that did drink, if you have any restrictions on bagged or animal blood, those are removed and this will slake 100. So this blood slakes hunger as if it were not bagged, is essentially the positive aspect of this ritual that has been done over this blood.
Awesome.
What do you mean weird?
It's Bruja blood, but it's too thin to be Vitae.
What?
I'm only passing along information. I don't know. And also, I don't know whose sire this is. Whose sire this person whose blood came from. I don't know.
They taste exquisite.
That's a word for it, I guess.
Okay.
Shall we go upstairs and give them their room?
Sure.
See you in a bit.
So the three of you head upstairs. We will stick with Lark and Omen for a moment.
Lark is a little despondent, and she just takes your hand and she says, Omen, I don't pretend to understand much of anything really, but I know when I drink your blood I don't feel anything.
Yeah. Okay. Can't do what you do.
Yeah. And I know that you feel things when you drink my blood. I know you're feeling it a lot right now.
These are all true statements, Lark. What you getting at, sweetheart?
I don't know. Everything that's happened recently and my newfound pseudo-freedom from Elliot has got me feeling like a babe lost in the woods, like adrift. I don't really know what I'm doing. Like I'm just doing things that my blood compels me to do, and I don't know if it's really what I want. I don't know if it's what you want. But I'm doing it to you anyway.
Oh no. Did what the good Reverend say get to you a little bit?
Maybe. So why don't you tell me, Omen, before I drink and we go do whatever it is that we're gonna do with these runoffs upstairs? Why don't you tell me what you want?
Well, for the longest time, I was over it. Hell, I came to Elliot's domain so he'd kill me. I won't die anymore, though. See, that's the thing. But all those years ago, you're asking me what I wanted. I was so tired, Lark. I'm not tired anymore. I'm pissed. And we talked about freedom back then too, remember? When everything explodes. All I know is that we're in an absolute free fall. I'm still gonna catch you. You hear me?
I hear you. I am both glad and worried that you consuming my blood has made you want to live.
Lark, you feel that cold presence in your mind again. You will make a fine priest. This one will be one of our disciples. Every temple needs its guardians.
Lark's not going to say anything and is just going to cut off the conversation and bite into Omen's neck.
How much are you taking?
Oh, I'm at 4, and I don't know if you. I can't remember if you do what I do with the willpower thing.
Oh, I sure do.
Okay. Ach, mache. So I'm gonna try for 2.
Okay.
I will say the difficulty for 2 is going to be at least 3 successes on your willpower.
That's fine. I have a stupid amount of willpower.
You do. Crazy.
7 willpower.
I wonder where that came from.
I don't know. I'm not using it. I rarely ever use willpower.
That's a lot of words. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Shame I'm not going to use any of them.
How many successes did you want?
At least 3.
Okay, good. I got 4.
Very well. You take your 2 rouse checks from you, Omen.
So I'm at 5.
Omen, you...
I didn't even ask what hunger you're at. That's why this Lark is the worst.
Matter.
I forgot.
Doesn't matter. So,
said.
how many of
There are 4, and they will slake as if they were fresh.
So, do I need to roll willpower to not bite Lark, or can I just?
Yeah. I'm gonna say yes.
Everyone's gone. Get her out of here.
No, I need
Show up
you.
and Lark's not there, and just be like,
Lark
"Hey,
is
guys."
Omen's antidepressant. Come on, we can't.
"Hey guys."
Yeah,
so what are
how
we doing
depressing
today?"
would it be to
4.
kill your antidepressant?
4 is enough that you can get to
Oh.
these jars before biting into Lark.
Omen's just grabbing onto Lark's shoulders and kind of shoves her to the side, and then just downs the rest because he doesn't know, so he's just gonna drink the rest of them because he thinks that it's not gonna slake enough hunger.
Yeah,
So that
so
one.
yeah, you can reduce to 1. And I think you would probably find that alarming.
So, okay, all right. Well, that's fun.
Yeah,
And
sorry
alarming.
about that. I'll get better at asking how hungry you are. I didn't even think to look because I was so hungry.
No, I'm not talking about that. That's fine. Calliope's right. There's something weird about this.
Speaking
Well,
of
then-
Calliope, and the 3 of them upstairs. As you all head up into the main room here, you are accompanied to the sounds from the jukebox of Sons and Daughters by the American Spirit. And you see that while it does seem that you are in a union hall, you are in the pleasure end of this union hall. This is not the business section. You come out of the basement into a bar and grill, essentially, that has been set up in the garage of this place. And Dennis holds up a hand, and you see there are about 30 Thin Bloods in this room. And they stop. Hey, hi. Sorry, this is the gang. It's really nice to have some. What's Don say? The thick bloods here across the river. It's nice to have y'all.
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Feel free, take a seat, shoot the breeze with some of the guys, and then we can talk business when everybody's up here.
Could you? I know we don't need it. Do you have any working bathrooms?
Yes, I can show. Yeah, come with me, Father. And he kind of puts an arm around your shoulder and smiles. So I'll show you where it's at. Come on.
I will point out, Alaric's forearms are still covered in specks of blood, and the back of his neck and stuff is still covered in Boa's blood.
Yeah, for sure. And he will start to walk you off towards the bathroom. Calliope and Velasco, what's your plan?
Well, here's the thing. Calliope doesn't much care for Thin Bloods, so she's a little put off by just how many of them there are.
Sure.
So she's just kind of scanning the room, seeing if there's anything that catches her eye.
Wits and awareness. Velasco.
Making nice with our hosts, it would be impolite. It seems there's quite a number of them, so he will go around and introduce himself to as many of them as possible, and shaking their hands and trying to get their names.
And I think as you go through that, you kind of absent-mindedly get pulled into a game of darts with 2 of the other union members as they're, pitching darts at the board, and, shooting the shit.
The accuracy was never my strong suit, but why not? Let's give it a shot.
Go ahead and give me a Dex Athletics just for my edification here. Calliope, what was the result of your roll?
3.
With 3 successes, looking around the bar, 1, you can smell food cooking, which smells atrocious to you. But I'll say there are 2 things that you notice pretty immediately. 1, none of them are looking hungrily at any of you, which is strange. I mean, even even in the time that you were in Omen's garage, his one thin blood Jerry was kind of giving you a little bit of a hungry look, if not hungry for your blood, hungry for knowledge. They look relatively, most of the people here look relatively disinterested in any of you. And I think the second thing you notice is this was Camarilla territory up until a few nights ago. You were a part of the Camarilla at one point. Even though you were just a ghoul at that time, I will ask you to, for this second piece of information, if you could make me an intelligence and politics while I get over to Velasco. What was the result of your roll, Velasco?
That would be 2 successes.
You hang pretty competitively with these thin bloods, playing darts, shooting the shit. Their names are Thomas, Marin, and Bruce. And they kind of let you lead the conversation a little bit as you play. Bruce is just kind of like, so where are you from? Velasco, Zavallo, Lucanio. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to keep up, man.
Velasco will do just fine.
Well,
born
no.
and raised here.
I have to insist. I feel that it's really important to call someone by the name that they want to be called, whether they chose that name or their parents gave them to them. You know, it's important to call somebody what they want to be called.
Well, every bit of that name actually has a meaning, but I find Velasco means the most to me, hence it being the first. It means little crow.
Velasco. I can get behind that. So where are you from?
Born and raised
before
here.
You came here.
Born and raised here, but I trace my origins, my lineage, at least on the mortal side of it, back to the region of Basque in Spain and France.
You know, that's wild. I traced my heritage back to the Empire of Bohemia, and there's like, you know, a little bit of space between them there, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. We might be neighbors.
Something like that. And one of the others looks over. So what about your... And the others look at him. Right. We gotta wait to talk business. I'm sorry. I just... I'm a little nervous, that's all. I'm sorry. I you know...
We can wait for the others, but you may feel free to ask me any question you like. You've all been quite upfront and quite generous with your hospitality, so I'm not inclined to keep anything from you that I might be able to answer.
We've heard a lot about your Baron, and we're just a little nervous about him, I think.
What have you heard?
He runs a cult.
I'm sure he would call it a church.
Yeah, but so did Jim Jones, didn't he?
Just so.
Calliope, there's all your roll.
3 successes.
You see that even though until 3 nights ago this was Camarilla territory, you see not a single Ankh branded on any of these thin bloods. So either they all evaded detection, or something's really off here.
You look over to Velasco, see he's just having a good time. Oh, she feels weird. She feels a little like a fish out of water. So, you know, something occurs to her thinking about everything that's happened. Does she see, like, the hallway that Alaric and Dennis went down?
Yes, but you also hear the door open up behind you as Lark and Omen finish their business downstairs.
turn around and say, feel better?
Uh-huh.
Did
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. And just looking around the room.
Calliope, oh god. She's not very subtle.
Because there's 30 of them.
I'm dating myself
Um,
here, but Lark's very much like Shannon Elizabeth in Scary Movie, like, ew, don't touch me, you bum. Very much like that.
Roughly with Dennis and the few that Velasco is playing darts with, there's about 35 thin bloods in you.
There's so many. And none of them were branded. Okay.
And I think this is a good point to, with the mention of Alaric and Dennis. Alaric, he leads you into the house proper, where you see that there are desks set up, phones, business cards out on desks, computers. Says, "Careful, Father. Don't need you getting too close to our computers now."
I will say away I know what I do to technology.
Yeah. It's we wanted to invite you here in the past. I've been I'm pretty faithful. I'm at the church every Sunday, but I wanted to invite you over for a meeting with all the guys, but they were nervous. We're a communications workers union, and you can't really do the communications because you break them. So
From what I saw downstairs, I get that you don't invite a lot of other guests, and that's wise of you. You protect your community that way.
Yeah.
I can't blame you.
Well, bathroom is right up the stairs there on the left. So,
Thank you, I appreciate that. Dennis.
I can go with you if you want, or I figured you might want some privacy. You look a little banged up.
I will just be cleaning up. I don't want to face the entire room downstairs with blood everywhere.
Sure. All right. Well, I'll just wait here for you then.
I appreciate that, Dennis. Thank you.
No problem.
He makes his way back to where Dennis pointed out that he could wash up.
And as you go up the stairs, you see the door is open. First door on the left. It is a washroom.
Yeah.
Give me a wits and awareness if you could.
I have 3 successes.
3 successes. So you go in and you begin to wash up, and eventually looking up at yourself in the mirror, of course you see no reflection. There are benefits to seeing no reflection, which is you can see things that are behind you. You see just at the corner of the ceiling above you, 1 drop of red falls from the ceiling.
I think, I imagine before this point where he notices that Alaric was washing his arms and trying to put some water in his neck to get rid of all of the blood as much as he could that was all there. And as he was doing that, he maybe was starting to spiral a little bit. All of this blood, thinking of Boa, thinking about the last things Boa said, and then him dying, not being there anymore this night. When they wake up, he starts connecting a little bit to Clara, and I think he starts spiraling, almost thinking for a second like it's her blood or that he watched her die again. And as he's bit by bit falling in there, he hears the drip of the blood behind him. And he stops, he puts off the faucet, looks back. Is there a puddle on the ceiling?
Looking up to the ceiling, you see that there certainly is a spot where it is soaking through the sort of shitty. I don't want to say styrofoam. I think it's called pressboard, is what they make ceiling tiles out of for these shittier older buildings. I think it's called pressboard. But it's just enough for that one drop. If you wait another about minute, another will drop. Whatever is dripping through, it is slow. It is a crawl, not a sprint. But as that second drip passes you and you get a smell of it, it's potent. It smells with the spice of fury. Caged anger.
With the smell of that, confirming that this isn't just any regular human blood. There's nothing else you can do here. It does stop his mind from derailing, gives him a focus, so to speak, a way to distract himself. He takes a few paper towels.
You hear a knock at the door. Everything all right in there, Father?
Thank you, Dennis. I was just ready.
All
And
right.
he clears off his arms and he makes his way back to the door.
As you go to open the door, we will go back to the scene in the bar for a moment. The three of you see that Velasco's playing darts with these thin bloods. And the rest of them are kind of looking at you. One of them finally walks up. A woman, probably in her early 40s. She says, "Hi, it's real nice to meet y'all. I'm Tamara, Tamara Brooks."
Hi, it's a pleasure, Calliope.
I know who you are. I've seen you at Nexus.
Oh, well, that's good. I'm glad. Happy to see a familiar face from the crowd.
Omen's gonna lean closer and like sniff at her. It's mainly just reaction, just to see how she reacts with what I got going on with my what is it called? Obvious predator.
She's gonna arouse really quick. She does get hungrier. She moves back swifter than a person should be able to move. Denoting some hint of celerity. She's, hey, whoa. Sorry, your whole deal's just making me a little nervous.
That's alright. Didn't mean nothing by it.
Alright, well.
Quite the
So-
place you've got here.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say you got a lot of people here.
Yeah, a lot of people coming from, Pennsylvania. They end up on this side of the river before they get to your side of the river, and we keep our eyes out for our kind and make sure that we all get together.
How long you guys been here in the Union Hall?
Well, about 2015, I think. Way Dennis tells it, somebody died that had control here, some thick blood like you. And Dennis, came in and swooped it up before anybody else could. And
So
the rest is history.
So it's just you all. You don't have anybody looking out for you, or
Well, we lost a few people. When the cam would come looking, we fought. We didn't just roll over for them.
that's pretty impressive there. Omen's just looking over at Lark.
Lark's like full Toreador at this point, where she's just like, "Oh, she doesn't want to be here."
Auntie,
She's talking to
this
them.
one.
Auntie Max would be so proud.
She doesn't want to talk. She doesn't. And unfortunately, she's low intelligence. But she's confused. She doesn't understand why Badger wouldn't have just wiped these rejects out wholesale. She does not get it.
I think that is a valid sticking point, because I think Lark, maybe other than a Lark, Badger the best. You've been close to him. You get how his brain works. He's a simple man who likes a simple job.
I mean, I've been physically close to him.
Yeah,
I spent a lot of time picking his brain, picking other things.
fair. Knowing the abilities he has, you can't imagine that these Thin Bloods would be able to fucking hide themselves from him. Let alone best him in a physical confrontation.
So Lark's gonna smack Omen gently, not hard or anything, not that she could, on the chest. Ask it how it avoided being killed off by Badger.
Baby, please, just they're people.
Well, Badger's the one we lost a few to.
Here in the Union Hall, he came here.
No, I don't know. Maybe the amount of us that stay here at a time has kept him away. I'm not sure, but he doesn't come here. Calliope.
Calliope's going to make she's just kind of looking around, seeing what Velasquez doing. I'm gonna activate Sentient soon.
Sure.
See if I see any wards or anything.
You do. You do see some wards. And you know what's crazy? Is you've seen wards with the same arcane signature just about 3 nights ago.
No. Oh.
Wards that have been constructed by Dr. Aaron Moody. It seems that they are wards of non-detection. They are wards against clairvoyance. They are wards against seeking. However, it's the one above the door that causes you perhaps the most distress. Nothing can enter this building obfuscated. This is one of Dr. Moody's personal constructions. This was a ward of his own design. A ward against the hidden.
I think she bites her lip, wanting to know how to do that. And she'll turn back to Tamara and say, so this building belonged to the Camarilla before.
Yeah. That's you should ask Dennis about this. He was the one who was around for all that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
So, where's your cook set up? Especially with what you've got going on.
We don't have anyone gifted as an alchemist here. We have several that are differently gifted. There are, well, to be frank, most of us can walk in the sun. That is what binds us together. The majority of us are daywalkers.
Well, damn. All right, that'll do it. Just looking at Calliope.
And the other majorly defining factor of most of us here is most of us have access to powers not dissimilar to your own.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. With your little two-step there.
I'm fast, yeah. You know, we were out on a job and a pole fell over, and I watched Dennis save half a crew's life when he caught it and tossed it.
Huh. All right. Do you want to get some air, sweetheart? You look like you're...
No, I'm fine. I'm having a wonderful time. I love it here. If you don't have anybody who does the cooking, how did you make the blood weird? Right? Everyone said the blood was weird. I don't know. I didn't drink it myself. I don't drink from anyone I don't know, and then no one would tell me where it came from.
And Tamara points across the room to the guy that's actually at the grill, flipping burgers and hot dogs right now. He says, Terrence over there, the one who sired him, and attempted to raise him up, was I suspect not too dissimilar from your Miss Rose here. He's knowledgeable in the art of blood sorcery.
That's fascinating. That's
Can you pass that down?
I'm sorry?
He passed that down to Terrence?
Yes.
I see.
You should, you know, if you want to know more, you can talk to Terrence about it.
I just might.
I think that's a great idea. Let's where'd Alaric go? Where's
I was
Reverend?
looking for him.
Yeah.
Velasco, if you could for me, make me a wits and awareness as we go back to the good father for a moment. Because as you open the door, Dennis smiles. And his eyes flick to the blood. You miss a drop there?
No, I didn't, Dennis. That seems to be the buildings.
The buildings.
Will we go back downstairs?
Well, that depends, Father. You gonna keep that to yourself?
That depends, Dennis. Do I have a reason not to?
You tell me.
Has it been rough being the shepherd of this group?
You can say that.
The fact that it has been rough for the fact that you are shepherd of the group.
You could say it's been difficult.
Can imagine.
Sacrifices have to be made.
See, I don't believe that.
It's kind of funny coming from a priest that not believing in sacrifices. Isn't that the whole point?
I don't believe you need to make sacrifices to be a good leader for a group. I don't believe it's up to you to make the decision that sacrifices are needed.
Well, I'm real sorry about this, Father.
You can just go downstairs, Dennis. I could really miss this right now. It's been a rough night.
Can't let you go back down there with what you've seen, Father.
You're a good boy, Dennis.
Yeah. He's gonna lunge at you. He pulls the stake that he had in the back of his jeans.
Dennis.
That, however, is only 4 successes. So it is going to be 3 levels of superficial damage.
Mhm.
As he plunges a wooden stake into your chest. But it does not hit your heart. It is certainly painful. Your duty garb is now going to have a big hole in it. But it is your action, Alaric.
All right. And he will let out a grunt from the stake being pushed in, and he will. He will certainly try to wrestle Dennis down. Preferably have it so that he can he will basically launch himself onto Dennis, and so that he can push Dennis to the ground with his face down to the floor.
Sure. I'm going to say that you can definitely make a strength and brawl here. You can add potence if you would like to activate. I can also say that if you get him out in the hallway, it will be dark enough that any of your oblivion powers will be available to you.
Sure. I think it's a good game plan to get him grappled a little bit, and then basically like shove him while keeping him. That's the plan. But first, we'll see if I can actually get a grip on him.
Strength and brawl.
Yes, that's 4 successes.
It's 2 successes. So you managed to wrestle him into the hallway. The 2 of you hitting the floor together. You're in a little more of a state of struggle than being able to hold him down. So he is going to attempt to wrestle you into the next room. Sort of pushing up off the ground and trying to shove you through the door. But with 1 success, not enough to get through the door. He just takes you back first up against the door. Another level of superficial damage. God, this is so, like, sexually tense. Yeah, he shoves you back first up against the door, and he is reaching to pull the stake out and try again. But it is your go.
There is a warring in Alaric's head where, things have been piling up last night and then this night as well, and he was trying to find his way to healthily deal with the emotions that are building up inside of him. And now there's a choice, and there's 2 paths forward. And Alaric, as much as he wants to take the good one, and the one that he hasn't been able to take before, it's easier to just fall back in old routines.
Sure.
So he's pushed against the door, and he is intending to switch positions and bash Dennis's head against the door.
Heard. Strength brawl.
That's 5, but yeah, there's only one 10 on a hunger dice. So, well,
Okay.
one of the 10s is on a hunger dice, so that makes it a best spell, I think. Yes.
Messy critical. Absolutely.
Oh yeah. Sorry, messy critical.
Increase your hunger by 1. That's put
That
you at
puts me
5.
on 4.
4.
No, puts me at 4.
4. You feel Hank's voice in the back of your head again. What the fuck are you doing? Wrestling around. Have some fucking dignity. Reach into the dark. Reach out for my hand, son. This, whatever this is done. Tear him a fucking part and figure out what the fuck is going on upstairs. I'm tired of holding your fucking hand.
He grits his teeth. And for once you might get your way.
Sure. We're right back in it.
Yeah, that was 5 successes.
As you slam him back against you do manage to flip positions. It's by a margin of 1, so again, mostly ineffectual. But as you bash him against the door, you see that the tumbling, like, pull string ladder into the attic falls down at the end of the hallway.
I think in this very bestial moment, with the voice of Hank also encouraging him, he will reach in and just cover this entire hallway in darkness with a Stygian shroud. He can see, but Dennis. And depending on what type of thin blood Dennis is, mortals do take damage and start choking and all of that.
Oh, he is going to take damage and start choking, for sure.
Yes.
But we'll get to that in a moment. So go ahead and make your roll for the Stygian Shroud.
I believe it's just a rouse check, and then it happens.
Okay. Let me know if you get a 1 or a 10.
It is not. It's not a 1 or a 10. But it is a failure, which does bring me up to 5.
Takes you 5.
Yes.
I need you to make a willpower for me right now, whereas Dennis is choking out on the ground. You're going to finish him off.
Oh boy. 1 success?
No, he's done. You take a stain. You gave him every inch of you that you could. But as he chokes in the dark, obviously looking around, scrambling, you see him trying to crawl across the floor, blind. Alaric, you almost don't even recognize yourself. You stalk up behind him like a confident predator animal, grab him by the scalp, and rip into his neck. And you take everything from him. As you finish, your hunger reduced to 0. As you stand in your own darkness, you see the ladder leading up.
I stand up from Dennis's body, wiping my mouth with my hands in disgust. And I pull out the stake from my torso. And I start stumbling towards the stairs that were the staircase that leads up.
You clamber up the stairs. It's dark with a single light above a few of the places, but that light bulb is so dim. You see there's various surgical equipment. And you see that as fixed to a rack, there are 2 racks side by side. You see a human person, their chest slowly rising and falling as you see blood from their body is being intravenously put into a familiar face. The staked Bruja Primogen of the Camarilla of Charleston, Balthazar Young. And that is where we're going to take our break. Welcome back. dear kindred, to this our episode, Heresy, where we're going to slow our roll a little bit, going back in time just slightly. Balthazar. 14 years of torpid imprisonment. Hearing everything going on in here, in this whole building. Knowing that these ghouls that once you had took advantage of the damaged form that they found you in after that fateful rant in 2013. They staked you after they brought you back here. The lone survivor of the purge of your clan by Prince Mariana Jessup at the hands of Badger and the Nosferatu. The years flew by with a strange swiftness. And you find yourself now, this night, smelling a kindred you haven't smelled in a long time. In fact, you barely even remember him. It takes a moment to place the scent of that bastard Hank Coulter's child. It takes a moment in your torpid mind to even flicker through the Rolodex of names. He was a priest, you remember that. Alan? No. Alaric. Winthrop. You smell him, you hear the bathroom that is just beneath your feet. You hear the sink turn on. Smell the hand soap. These familiar scents that now are so sickening to you because you have to fucking smell it all the time. You can't move. You can't blink. But you feel the spark of your rage ignite. And knowing what I am asking, if you could make me... This is going to sound like a really weird pool, but just follow me. I need you to make me a stamina, athletics, and potence.
That is 2 successes.
Wait, actually, no.
It's a bestial.
Perfect. You struggle. I am going to move you to the mythical 6 hunger. Even as the blood from this human that they have abducted is being intravenously fed into you, in this moment, your rage is too hot. It doesn't matter. And for the first time in 14 years, your forearm flexes. And the needle is pushed out just enough. And you feel your blood willed to drip. You hear the scuffle downstairs. You smell death. As you see Hank's child covered in blood flounder up the stairs. And the two of you meet eyes. Alaric. What do you do?
I go to the rack with the mortal person on it. Are they still breathing?
It's shallow, but yes.
Okay. I undo any tubes that would be in this mortal person. I plug out a tube that I also see going from this mortal person to Balthazar. I tried to take them from the cross. Tried to take them from the contraption that has them up right now. Put them down on the ground.
Relatively easy.
I go over to where Balthazar is strapped in. And I take out all of the tubes from him. And then finally I put my hand on the stake that's inside of him. I lock eyes. I'm not doing this for you. But you're welcome. And I will pull it out.
Balthazar. I need you to give me a willpower.
Oh, 5.
5, which is exactly what I needed. As you're not going to maul Alaric. They seem changed from the last time you saw them forced to their knees in front of you and Mariana Jessup in the council chamber of the Clay Center. Seems there's a burden that weighs heavier on them now. But you have a job to do. And the first of which, you can't move very fast without your cane. And so in this moment, take some narrative control, Balthazar, as you know where they've kept your cane. It's in Navas by the front door. Exactly where you left it. But you know what you have to do. I don't feel like I need to tell you.
He's going to rise. Shamble up. Feels like fucking eternity, but it feels right. They stop next to the father. Try to find words, but just can't articulate at the moment because something else is just raging inside. So you just go forward. Talk to him later.
Indeed. Wordlessly, Balthazar walks down the stairs. Are you following Alaric?
I first want to make sure that this mortal, I'm picking them up, and I'm going to bring them on. Seems stupid, but this is a little thing that Alaric can do that he thinks he might still get this person to a hospital.
Sure. As the two of you make your way down the stairs into the main office, you see your wolf's head cane at the door, snatching it without a second thought, turning the wolf's head and pulling out the silver blade that is inside of the handle. We'll go back into the garage for just a moment to cover what we missed before all hell breaks loose in the local 2001. Velasco, with that roll that you made, a spirit flits into your ear, spirit of the land. Something's wrong. Will you fight for me?
Always.
Will you kill for me?
Simply guard my hand.
Will you die again for me?
Everything that I am is for you.
Then I will show you the way of war. Calliope, you were going over to talk to Terrence.
Yeah, are Lark and Owen joining her?
Yeah, I guess so. Lark just doesn't want to talk to anyone anyway, so she'll just go wherever Omen goes.
It's literally like the waiting for seeing what Lark wants to do and just kind of slowly following Calliope and seeing if she comes to. And yeah, we're being scary dog. Just.
And Lark's being, ew, don't touch me, you bum.
Sure.
So I'll go over to. He's behind a bar?
He's flipping burgers on the grill.
Oh, God. Okay. I'll
Smells
go.
atrocious.
Right. Oh, I'll approach and just stand a healthy distance away so it's just not all up in my face.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll say, like, so I heard you were responsible for the mason jars down there.
Oh, yeah. That, what can I say? I dabble a little bit, yeah.
Dabble? That's very interesting for a non-thick-blooded individual.
I was, I think much to the chagrin of my sire, I was spawned of Clan Tremere.
Who is your sire, if you don't mind me asking?
Waylon Brooks. I'm originally from Norchester in Massachusetts.
I feel like he has no reason to lie, but I want an insight anyway.
Sure.
Okay.
Omen has just stopped breathing the closer we get to the grill. Like one big breath, enough to say a couple words, and then just nothing. Because, ew.
I'm gonna rouse.
Sure.
I succeed. Well, I have no more superficial willpower to tick, so that's a 2 with the resting beast deal.
There's something about lying for a profession that makes it so much easier to tell when other people are doing it.
Yeah.
And something about that lie sparks you. He's not a Clan Tremere. He doesn't have a drop of Tremere's blood in his veins. He's a filthy liar. And you're about to take something from him.
Oh no.
So, Calliope, make me a strength and brawl because you're going to bite this man.
Well, alrighty. That's 2 hunger dice.
Omen's just like arm around Lark's shoulder, just like, this is gonna be fine. Don't worry, sweetheart, we're gonna get out of here soon.
Soon was like, I don't know, an hour ago.
Well, once we find the
Soon was like when I got out of the box.
Well, we still had to we didn't have to talk to him, we didn't have to, you're right. Okay.
He also got a 2. So Calliope begins to physically struggle with this man. Trying to bite him, jaws snapping. For a moment, we're going to go back. And Velasco, you see one of these thin bloods look around and then go into the hallway where Alaric and Dennis went. Balthazar, as you finish that walk down, God, you can hear all of their hearts beating. You can smell that they've fouled your home with the smell of cooking food. You've had to smell them cooking fucking food for 14 goddamn years. And the door opens. And you see Morris, who was one of the few that was one of your ghouls when you went into torpor. And his eyes go wide. Boss,
It's not even a conversation. Ain't even a syllable. Unless you count the sound of a sword to an ungrateful neck.
Are you going to drink from him?
Whatever
You're at
comes out of
6.
his shoulder.
You're at 6 hunger.
Yeah.
I think you're going to drink from him regardless, and you are going to take everything from him as you slash him. And you see this, Alaric, as Balthazar slashes this man's neck turns his head to the side, nearly ripping his head from his shoulders, and drinks from the open neck like a fountain. Balthazar, I will allow you to go to 0 because you're going to take everything from this man. And this will not give you a stain. Your humanity isn't high enough for it to give you a stain. And your conviction, if someone shoots at you, don't let them have a second opportunity, is going to supersede. And as every single kindred in the garage smells the wellspring of blood, I need all of you to give me another rouse check.
I'm still at 2.
I'm also still at 2.
I am at 2 now.
Okay.
Lost goes back
Still
up to
at 0.
3.
Very well. As you smell this wellspring of blood, and you all see this man. Would you like me to describe Balthazar's physical appearance, or would you like to do that, Ben?
I'll give you the honors.
Oh, thanks. Balthazar is a stout man, quite sharp of dress, erring towards reds, golds, and blacks. His cane is of lacquered oak wood with a brass wolf's head knob. His hair is curly and dark. He's worn it in many fashionable styles, but we see tonight long braids. He has his deep crimson gold-rimmed sunglasses. And the air around him crackles with fury. It's like seeing the mirages off of hot blacktop. As soon as Balthazar walks into the room, everyone looks up. Even, those that were getting ready to get up and assist in whatever's going on between Calliope and this man at the grill. Everyone's head turns to Balthazar when he enters the room. And this is where we are going to enter combat. And we are going to start with Balthazar. Now, Ben, I have to remind you, you have a really lovely potence power here called Spark of Rage. Are you familiar with Spark of Rage?
No. I'm not a Brujah player, but
Spark of Rage is an amalgam with presence, and you can add your potence rating to rile or incite a crowd to violent action.
That sounds fun. Appropriate.
Okay. So if you could, for me, if you would like to activate that, I first need a rouse check.
Good there.
Then what I need you to do is make me a roll that is your, I'm going to say, manipulation and leadership plus your potence.
That sounded like a lot of dice there, Vin. That sounded like
and
that sounded
one
like a lot of
fell.
dice.
Don't worry about it.
All right.
Alright, let's see.
That is 10 successes.
So any kindred in the room that would wish to resist what is going to be the overwhelming urge to commit violence, that is going to be a composure and resolve, and you're trying to beat 10.
Those are good rolls for me.
I already had a bestial. I'm big mad. I'll decline this roll.
Sure.
I get hungrier. I rolled 0 successes on 9 dice.
I got a 5. Ain't no way I'm getting a 10.
I didn't roll a bestial or a messy, so I rolled nothing on all the hunger dice.
So I will let you in this moment Balthazar, guide the intent of who is to be brutalized, and I'll let you take some narrative control. How do you enact the spark of rage? You feel the power of your presence pour out of your body for the first time in 14 years. How does that manifest?
It's surprisingly clean. Very straightforward. It's like connecting the dots, and each dot is a heartbeat between these unlucky bastards, if I can say politely. Now, these other wrath, whatever came with the father, I can sort out later. But first, I should make sure my friends pay the tab. 14 years is a long time.
So as you direct even their own fury at themselves now, it doesn't take long. I'm not even going to really classify this as a combat with 10 successes. Whatever powers you have doesn't matter. The rage is so strong, you are ripping and tearing with teeth and fists. Alaric, your rage boils over, and this person in your arms, you just snap their neck. You snap it with such force, you almost avulse the head from its shoulders. Dropping the body, throwing it like it's nothing to the wayside, and pushing into the room. These murders are going to occur. And I need everyone to take a stain. So we're sitting on 2 for Alaric, 1 for everyone. As this swiftly becomes an incoherent bloodbath of flying limbs, broken glasses, body parts hitting off of furniture. Calliope, you hold this man's face down on the grill until he stops moving. This rage is incoherent and brutal, and you see nothing but red. The violence of kindred unbound, unchecked, unbroken in regards to Balthazar. Balthazar, as you yourself, unaffected, are you focusing on the ghouls that were ghouls when you went into torpor?
Of course. I don't even know why that's even a question.
There were only 7 of them back then, so they're easy to pick out. And as you hold the last one in your hands, Jonathan Spring, and you have that blade from your cane embedded in his chest. He just looks at you, and he smiles as he coughs up his last gout of blood. I told him this day was coming. Good to see you, boss.
Shut the fuck up.
So you wrench the blade free, and now that the objects of your ire have been disposed of, you all feel that heat like hot blacktop wash away. And you are standing in the site of a massacre. All of you complicit.
Well, let everybody speak up at once.
Who the fuck are you?
History's too long. I think courtesy being my place and all. Who are you?
Well, go on, darling. You spoke up first.
Omen. My name is Omen. You alright, sweetheart?
Yeah, I'm all right. I mean, it's not exactly how I spend a typical night, but, you know, I guess that was kind of fun. I didn't like them anyway.
Well, going down the line, who are you, sweetheart?
I'm Lark Stone, clan minister.
Balthazar, you are familiar with the surname Stone. The Toreador Primogen is Maxine Stone, and she always went on about how she had quite an extensive mortal bloodline.
You wanna Miss Stone's whelps, or?
Maxine Stone, she's my great auntie.
Uh-huh. Congratulations. Sorry. I don't know. Seems like you're owning it.
Thanks.
Not a compliment. Just turns his eyes to the next one.
Of course, you already know Alaric. Calliope. Balthazar's eyes come to rest on you.
Calliope would, after coming out of the state, look down at what she did and just step back and drop the body. And then look up. Calliope Rose, Clan Tremere.
I think he's trying to wrap his brain around any Tremere.
You remember at the time that you went to sleep, so to speak, the Tremere Primogen was one rhododendron Phibs. And she had just recently become Primogen. There's some shakeup had happened in the Tremere Chantry, and the story is she challenged her sire, who was the previous head of the Chantry, to some kind of duel, and murdered her in front of the rest of the Chantry.
Just clicks his tongue. A little too familiar given the floor and the cleaning bill. And then to Mr. Top Hat.
Velasco Zavala Soriosano, at your service. What did you do?
What didn't I do? And I already know the father. I would say, nice to see you, but I guess I can say thank you.
Alaric is kneeling over the body of the mortal that they brought from upstairs. And although it's hard with all the blood everywhere, there are a few blood tears on his face as he's staring down at this body.
I've never felt quite so feral in my life. What was that?
Yeah, I need to step away for just a second.
Velasco will make his way to stand by Alaric and put a hand on his shoulder.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, I'm not a girl who gets down and dirty in that way, but, what was that exactly?
Just a drop of what I felt for so long.
How long was that?
If I had to count the days, weeks, months, maybe throw them in the years, carry the two, I'd say about 14 fucking years.
You know us, but do we have the pleasure of knowing who they kept for 14 years?
Balthazar Young. But you don't have to say the mouthful. I'm still trying to workshop what the fuck I'm doing now.
Yeah, that one over there. And just Omen's drenched. Because once that rage hit, he went feral. I think his claws are still out. and he's pointing to what pieces remain of Tamara. Said that Thin Bloods took up this place around that time.
You don't say.
Of course, Balthazar, you've been hearing their conversations for the last 14 years. They passed themselves off as Thin Bloods because they had just enough of your vitae and other kindred vitae that they had been taking. They'd kept just enough to pass the illusion.
See, the interesting thing about that is, these are ghouls. Ghoul, and just like starts kicking every other like piece of corpse with a similar strain.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe knock a head with the tip of the cane. Now it's like sheathed. Yeah, there's no Duskborn. What do they call them here?
And how did they make that blood concoction with, I'm assuming, your blood?
Yeah, does it really matter?
How big to differ?
I need to see if they left records. I need to know if someone was here. Did you were... Oh God, I hate to ask. It's probably not even my place, but in all that time that you were hearing their conversations, did you hear anybody by the name of, or anybody pass along the name of, Dr. Moody?
Did I?
That does sound familiar, although they kept saying the good doctor. And specifically, you remember hearing Terrence, the blood sorcerer, talking about how he had received another care package from the good doctor and that he was working on lessons. He would do his homework in one of the upstairs rooms beneath you, experimenting, trying to learn blood sorcery.
There's been doctor talk here and there, but, you know, I've got a lot of restructuring to do.
Of course.
A lot of recollecting and reminiscing, but perhaps once I got everything sorted out, come back and I'll tell you what you want to hear.
Of course.
Do you know what they were doing here? Because I know what they said they were doing here, but obviously that was a bunch of fucking horse shit, so...
What you know, Balthazar, is that your errant ghouls, shall we say, had been facilitating the dispersal of a drug for someone else. They'd been working with someone called Joiner. And they had been essentially making sure that the communications about this drug were encrypted, unable to be tracked, that they were making sure that any phone calls weren't wiretapped by anyone but them. They were essentially what was allowing this network to go unobserved.
Then he would relay everything up until that point about the telecommunications being interrupted. Just distributing the drugs with some bastard named Joiner.
Joiner. Alright.
So, just, just so I understand, which is difficult. Joiner is the one... They're the two people making drugs, right? Or drugs have been stolen, and one of them's Joiner, and one of them's someone else. Is that correct?
Are you asking above table or on table?
I'm asking above table. I know the answer. Clark doesn't know the answer.
Okay.
that would mean that
I'm asking because I'm just, I'm trying to keep everything together, and also I'm drenched in blood.
Well, I know we know one person who was putting vice out in the world.
We do know one person.
And the second one, well, given what we found, we got 2 sources, and they seem to be,
Because these folks here wanted to get, we were invited here under the pretense that they wanted to get good with our mutual friend. But if they were distributing drugs, they obviously weren't doing it for him. It's sort of what I'm driving at.
Mutual friend.
Well, you heard them talking while this lot was asleep in during the day. What essentially they were trying to get these kindred to go to Elliot, the Baron of Kanoa City, who you are so very familiar with. In fact, you remember the last time you saw him was the night you went into torpor. Elliot, this fucking Setite, showed up to your rant and tried to offer you safe haven and all of Riverview safe haven in his domain if you would just distribute a drug for him. And this all sounds so familiar as they were talking again about how they wanted to get in good with Elliot and then turn over everything on this joiner to Elliot so that he would let them become full kindred. So it's all just a little too bloody familiar. This cycle tried to play itself out 14 years ago.
Elliot's still trying to do that drug shit. Just curious.
well, wouldn't you know it?
I'm just sometimes the audacity just surprises me.
Oh, Elliot's full of audacity.
I'm trying
And
to
of
be
course,
polite here.
Balthazar, I think that's when it would click.
Mhm.
Sedite ministry.
Mhm.
You've heard it. You've heard the errant ghouls talking about the rebranding across the river. This must be one of Elliot's children.
Now, you wouldn't happen to be some sort of emissary or spokesperson for your daddy, would you?
Oh, I think at a time I would have been overjoyed to be called such, but officially, no.
I mean, on paper, correct. But, given what he's been up to, no.
Okay, then. Well, it's been real. It's been fun, but I can't say it's been real fun. I need to find a copious amount of bleach. Now, if you would kindly get out of my house, I'd really appreciate it.
You should know there's wards here for concealment by the good doctor. I have a theory.
Please, go on.
If Dr. Moody was here with people pushing vice, he's working with either Elliot or whoever else is in this game. And I need to... Can I look at the wards closely before we leave, please?
By all means.
and I will do that. I'd like to. Oh goodness, can I study them enough to where I can at least draw it on paper and start maybe reverse engineering it?
I will say you can give me an intelligence and occult, and we'll get back to that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So as Calliope studies this, Velasco, you can feel that spirit that was in your ear is very much sated. It seems to be very comfortable in the presence of Balthazar. And that may strike you as odd.
Is this the war that you spoke of? Or is there more to come?
Oh, this is just the first crack on the flame. And this is my champion.
This Balthazar Young is your champion.
I do love the trope of the sleeping warrior.
Rising only when most needed.
And need him you do. See, Solus is chewing off the finger of someone laying on the ground.
He'll turn his attention to Balthazar at this point. Would you like some assistance in cleaning? And even if by technicality, this is a mess that we did make.
Yeah, so I did make a bunch of this. I can help clean it up real quick.
Balthazar, you also know that there's someone you can't really speak about in polite company that owes you a favor, and they're a hell of a cleaner.
I think I've got this taken care of.
Is there... You seem like, someone strong, capable, and perhaps a good friend to have in a sticky situation. If there is anything that we can offer you, Mr. Young, I'm sure we would be happy to come back here when you feel ready to have company again.
Well, I appreciate that, assuming it's the sentiment of the rest of you.
With that.
Calliope from the war just kind of over. Yes, of course, and then back to it.
With that, Alaric raises himself from the ground and says, "Now I think you owe me, monster. I think you owe me."
That I do.
There's one thing you could think of that you could ask of these kindred, Balthazar. And it's simple. Just keep your existence a secret. Everyone in this city thinks you're dead. You are the biggest mover unseen this city has right now. And you can feel it.
Well, for now, all I can ask is y'all just keep me to yourselves, okay?
The spirits of this place seem to take kindly to you. Were you aware of such things?
Perhaps. It's interesting.
I'm inclined to ally myself with them. This is what you desire. I'll keep my lips sealed.
So formal.
I know you got a lot of catching up to do. So, we'll leave you to it. And, the only thing I would ask is, our mutual problem. If you could keep that to yourself. Or if you're so inclined when the time comes to help out.
Absolutely.
Well, then we got a deal.
Calliope, what's the result of your roll, if you don't mind me asking?
So funny thing, I rolled 10 dice. I got 2 successes. That was not good for me. So I took aggravated willpower damage.
Ooh.
And now I got 8 on a crit.
Well, that's certainly a good switch up. You're gonna need a few nights to figure out the ingredients outside of blood that you need for this. You may actually need to reflect on the library at the Chantry, but you at least have everything sorted to where you're gonna be able to make this. You just have to sort out what ingredients Aaron could have used to make this happen. And I think that bristly Tremere pride in you comes out for a moment. He can't be that much better of a blood sorcerer than you. You can figure his shit out.
Surely. Naturally. She'll take a step back from it. Okay, I think I can figure this out. When I figure this out, and she'll turn to Balthazar. If you need these re-upped to stay concealed, I'm your girl.
Well, I appreciate that.
Well, we can awkwardly stand around here looking at our no friend here, or we could head out and figure out if our other friends actually got to leave.
So you're all leaving?
Making a small sign of the cross with his thumb on whatever is left of the face of this person he was hovering above. He will stand up and say, "Let's go outside."
Do you got a hose or something out back?
There is a hose. This is a residential home that has been turned into a union office. It's got amenities.
Lark will just wink and follow Omen, and as she leaves, to say, "Well, it's been real nice meeting you."
Gets a little twisted face, but there's a smirk at the end. Just a little curt nod.
As you all head outside, we'll have a brief moment here before the walk back across the bridge in Nakanoa City, the interstate bridge.
Yeah, Omen's gonna go get the hose and wash everybody off if they're okay with it. I think looking at Alaric will just hand over the hose.
Yeah, he as I do like the image of everyone standing there being hosed off.
Yeah, Lark was just like,
no, I think as you at last give the hose to Alaric, he just turns it off and he doesn't clean himself off. And as he does, what are you pointing for?
Omen's just like, "Father, we have to walk across the bridge in public and you're covered in blood."
I mean, we can all take turns licking it off you if that's what you prefer.
Did you watch your mouth for even 1 second? Or is this the state you refer to when you feel uncomfortable? When you feel out of depth?
I don't feel uncomfortable or out of depth. I was just trying to lighten up a little bit since you're bringing down the mood enough for all of us.
I'm sorry. Did we not just witness a massacre inside?
Yeah.
Are you so past it that does nothing to you?
Oh, it does plenty to me. I'm guessing you don't know a whole lot about my clan, but these people were criminals. They were keeping someone captive and feeding off of them like leeches, literally. I don't shed a single tear for them.
And they were still human. They didn't deserve to be massacred.
Oh, ugh. They don't look very. That's very human to me.
Father, your words are wasted on some sheep. But perhaps you and I could walk.
I don't much care for walking over the bridge. We can walk through the ocean just as fine. We don't need to breathe. We don't need any of that. However, since you talked about joiner inside there, I don't know who or what this joiner is or means to any of you. But I do know that Agatha found out that the source of those drugs, if they are not your sire himself, they could very well be the Banu Hakim Primogen, Keziah Mason. He could be the source of this.
Calliope, give me a wits and insight. No, hold on. You don't need it. Alaric just talked to Keziah on the phone last night in the RV. You held the phone.
Yeah.
You heard him say, "I love you." And I'm just gonna give it to you with your specialty and weaknesses. Alaric's weakness is loyalty. Love, even. Twisted, unrecognizable. But there's some bond of emotion and loyalty there between Alaric and Keziah. He is his own Judas in the garden in this moment.
And you love him?
Excuse me?
Or he loves you? That much I know.
We shouldn't talk about love. We do not know anything about love.
That's okay. All right, we're gonna draw a line right there. Just because we died doesn't mean we still don't feel things. It may not be the same, but hell, people change all the time.
You definitely feel things, Father. As much as you are weeping for all those dead ghouls.
I don't say I
Because I'm
wouldn't feel. It's about love.
What exactly do you call your grief? If it ain't love. Love for humans, love for humanity, love for doing what's right. I don't know, take your pick.
It's just simply a difference in philosophy.
I feel sorrow for them. Pity for what we are. Sorrow for them. For them having to endure the pain of our existence in here with them. For them being ended at our hands. Through something we can't control. Or say we can't.
No, sometimes you just gotta go with it. Because, yeah, if you don't keep yourself in check, things get real fucked real fast. Or if something like him shows up, just gotta point him back towards the building. You lose control. It happens.
No,
Father
Alaric,
Winthrop. Oh, sorry. Go.
no, Alaric, you also know that Keziah is confined at the moment. He's not being allowed to leave his haven in Sat's cemetery. So you know where he's going to be, but you don't have a lot of time to get to him if you want to. He said the prince would and the council would render their judgment in 2 nights' time, and that was last night. You literally have the early part of tomorrow night to get to him. Before whatever happens.
Velasco, if possible, would just step between and try to walk with Alaric away from the group.
It's up to you, Alaric.
We should, regardless of our differences. You talk to Kazaya about this. Figure out what is happening and how it can be stopped.
All
But that
right.
is something for tomorrow night, I think.
Okay. Well, if you got a line in on him, we'll do that. It's a long walk back, so.
You can take the bridge. I
Does
won't.
that mean you're going to use the hose?
No, I said you can take the bridge. I won't. Mr. Velasco, you can join me if you wish.
Father, may I say something before you go dipping into the water?
You may always say something.
Yes, I was just being polite. I believe that you're doing yourself and possibly other people who care about you a great disservice by denying that we can feel love. I think whether you realize it or not, you are hurting both them and yourselves. And that's all I'll say about that.
I think.
Bo, I loved you.
Ooh, okay. I'll shut up.
Bo, I loved you. He told me. He genuinely did.
Yes, I know, he told me too. Many times.
Makes you indeed wonder about our kind in love. If we are deserving.
No, I never said that, did I?
He seemed to think you were.
Well, all that thinking got him dead. But I really don't want to talk about Bo.
Then I think we split ways here.
Sounds fine.
Omen's gonna reach down and grab Lark's hand and kind of squeeze it.
I don't want to talk about it. No.
I'm just holding your hand while we take a nice walk across this bridge.
You do get a text, Omen, as you start back across the bridge. As Calliope, I assume you're going with Lark and Omen.
Yep, yeah, she'll just be the girl for the stroll.
Lark will hold your hand.
Oh, hell yeah.
You
We'll walk together.
you get a text from Janky. Is Lark with you?
Omen's gonna call Janky.
Hey, I don't. Why'd you call me, man? That's fucking weird. Don't call somebody after they text you.
Because I'm in the middle of something right now and it's easier to walk and talk.
Well, hey, I got this body, and I don't. Look, this ain't usually the kind of shit I move around, man. So I'm kind of out of my depth here.
Where are you?
I'm at the shop, man.
Well, we're on our way there, so
All right, everything with thieves across the river pan out.
we're gonna talk about that, Janky. Oh my god. What the fuck did you leave? You know what? We'll talk about it.
What do you mean? What do you mean? I'd never met him before. Don vouched for him.
Dawn needs to not be there when I get there.
All right, I'll send him home.
Good.
I don't work here. I don't work for you, asshole. And he hangs up the phone. And where we will draw this episode to a close as you watch the last of them walk away from the house through the front window, Balthazar. Feeling the life surging back into your limbs. God, you feel strong. You haven't felt this strong in a while. Before you went down, you and Scarlet Moon had a deal going with a lupine in the area. And you wonder if that old phone number might pan out, because he does owe you a favor. I mean, you bailed his pups out of a pretty hard out. Did you give him a call? He's your cleaner after all.
Wouldn't hurt.
Go through your old Rolodex. into the L's. You find laughs at leeches. Dial the number on your rotary phone. Picks up. Who is this? This is a restricted number.
Well, hello to you too.
No shit. Balthazar fucking Young.
As I live and don't breathe.
Man, I heard that Mariana killed you.
Well, stories of my death have been greatly exaggerated.
Yeah, well, I've taken off her hand a few times. One time I even bit her arm off. Shit, man. It's good to hear from you.
Yeah, well, we can talk a little bit more if you can make your way up here.
Oh, you calling in a favor, B?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. What'd you do? You make him fucking mess, man?
To say the least.
Y'all are so fucking messy. Yeah, I'll be over, man. No worries. I'll see you in 15 minutes.
Nice little click.
And the phone hangs up, and the camera will pan to the top of a high-rise in downtown, where a man with short, graying hair, wicked yellow eyes, and a smile across his face rips as he looks to the door. Call those new pups in. I'm gonna need to speak with them. And that is where we will end this episode 7, Blood of the Covenant, Heresy. Thank you all so much for being here, and we'll see you next time.